Y'all, we need to talk about Blake. We need to talk about her. I did not expect this media blitz to go so crazy, but it's happening. And there's some things about Blake that we have forgotten, that we have forgiven and forgotten about, and we need to revisit this. Blake has been showing us who she is all this time, and now it's all coming out. So let's just go straight to it. Blake Lively is most famous for her role that she played on Gossip Girl. She played, what was her name? Serena. And I liked the series. I watched it a couple of times. And during that time, she seemed very bubbly, very fun, young girl, very smart. She would do interviews and she seemed very knowledgeable, kind of older than her years, and I liked her. She was also a fashionista. She famously has never employed a stylist, and she takes great pride in dressing herself and having relationships with designers. And she is known as a very well put together fashionista. So all these things make me like her. She seemed really funny in her interviews, really sweet. And then she married Ryan Reynolds, another actor that I like a lot. I think he's so funny. He used to act in a sitcom. That was the first time I would see him. And I'm going to put the name here because I used to love that show. And he was the best part of that show. He has Blake by his side. And the thing about this, they are two very big actors, A-list actors, if you please. But they have managed to keep their private life private. They have, I think, 3 or 4 children. We're not even sure how many children they have. We don't know how many are boys, how many are girls, because they haven't released any of this information out to the public. And so I respect that about them too, that they have managed to keep their private life private while maintaining a very successful public life and public careers. But what is happening lately is that Blake Lively is starring and I guess also producing the movie It Ends With Us. There's a lot of buzz around this movie because of the success of the book. And a lot of people were looking forward to watching the movie because they love the book. The book is about a woman who survives DV, I can't say the words, and I guess she goes through this with a boyfriend and she overcomes it. Now, there's been some criticism about the way the movie is being marketed because there are people who never read the book. They don't know what it's about. They don't know about the heaviness of the subject. And when they watched the movie, when they went to theaters and watched the movie, they were shocked because they had received no prior warning about the heaviness of the subject and some of the imagery that they're going to be watching, because they are accusing Blake of promoting this movie like a romantic comedy. Blake has been avoiding the heavier subjects of the book. She has been playing it off like it's a girl's movie. Put on your floral dresses and come and watch the movie. And some people are saying either you take it seriously for what it is and let people know, hey, this is going to be a heavy subject. You need to be prepared. But this is about the human spirit and overcoming this. Or if you want to make a rom-com and a girly movie, then don't make a movie like this. And so that is where most of the controversy is coming for Blake lately. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to address this video that has been making the rounds. This reporter who described this as her worst celebrity interview. And when you see the video, you'll understand why. But I'm just going to show some of the highlights of the video and we're going to discuss some of it. Now, to be clear, this video was filmed in 2016 while Blake was promoting another movie. But in light of all the information that is coming out about Blake and how she's not a very nice person, this video has resurfaced with the reporter adding that this was a really difficult interview to sit through. And so I just wanted to add that disclaimer that this is not a recent interview. This was in 2016.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump. What about mine?
Okay, this is where things go wrong. This is where things start to go wrong. Clearly, Blake is annoyed at the fact that her pregnancy is even being acknowledged. Now, unless her publicist specifically told all the journalists, do not address the pregnancy, don't talk about her baby bump, then she needs to understand that if you walk into an interview with a pregnant belly, people are going to say congratulations. That's nothing rude. That's nothing bad about that. Now, again, if she was specifically told, if the journalist was told, do not ask her about it, and she went ahead and did, then you can understand the frustration. And also, as we were saying in the beginning, her and Ryan have been very private about their pregnancies. So this is where things went south. Let's go.
Bump.
You've got two nice ones.
And these, they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it
Okay.
out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are
You
you
like the
getting-
movie? Or
Everyone
digital?
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has some
suits and
beautiful. That's
how
what I'm saying.
he
His wardrobe
chose
was
it. Oh, I
beautiful.
know,
Corey's
everybody.
wardrobe
I
was
know,
gorgeous.
he's
Those
so great.
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I wish men
And
wore
sorry,
high-waisted
too.
pants
I
like
know.
that still. Or
too.
their father.
Look at her. Look at the journalist.
So
Just
good.
like- it's just like
Did you
that, you
catch
could
the,
feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the light in the Italian restaurant when they eat spaghetti?
I didn't
in
notice
it?
that. No.
But there's
Yeah,
so
I feel
much
like-
warmth of everything, you know.
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
But
Like,
yeah,
it's so,
That's kind of unbearable. Clearly displaying mean girl behavior. Because she asked them about the fashions in the movie. Now, Blake, do not come here and act like you're such an actor that you never want to discuss fashion. Your whole personality is about your fashion. It's about how you put looks together, how you don't hire a stylist and you do it all on your own, and you like to talk about the different designers that you like to work with.
There's these great Louboutins that are also a close-up on them when we're dancing in the bar. Those are mine.
Crazy rings. Rings also are like my comfort blanket. It's just a very expensive comfort blanket. I should like Snuggies instead as a comfort blanket. Instead I like Lorraine Schwartz.
It's all about the clothes. So for her to all of a sudden be concerned that nobody asks the men about their clothes, why are they only asking the women about our clothes? Like, this isn't something that you courted? Like, this isn't part of your personal brand? Come on, girl. This is clearly coming from the beginning of the interview when the journalist asked her or congratulated her on her baby bump and she was annoyed by that. She has decided, because you acknowledged my belly, which I did not want to be acknowledged, I'm going to make this very difficult for you. And Parker Posey, you're too old for this kind of behavior, girl. This kind of mean girl shenanigans. So disgusting.
It's amazing to look at. And then to
Steve's
see
white
it.
suits.
Yes.
And then
What do you feel like is the biggest misconceptions about fame and Hollywood in general?
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of the how intrusive media is these days,
Shade.
people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you. So I think the biggest misconception I see often is people feeling like they know someone that they don't, because they know what the media has created of someone.
If you're rich and famous, that you're happy is probably the biggest. And we see that, fame and success is a burden as much as it is a blessing. But it's not, that's not the truth. It's, I don't think that makes someone happy.
So you don't like swapping cards?
That's my phone. Hold on a second.
No, she wasn't saying she didn't like it. She was talking about, you asked what perceptions
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
and she was saying that fame or success
There's
or
a
money
misconception.
doesn't equate happiness.
Yeah, no, but
Happiness
people-
equates happiness.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Look at their faces.
First of all, congrats on your little...
Disgusting. Disgusting. When I see grown women, a mother, behaving in this kind of mean girl way, I think to myself, you arrested development. You are stunted in high school. I guess you peaked in high school because this is all you got. You're a grown woman and this is all you got. Wow. By the way, that interview was in 2016. This was a long time ago, and now it's just coming out. But there's some controversy about this movie, in addition to the way it's being promoted, in that there was a lot of stories that were coming out suggesting that Blake did not get along with the director who also acted in the movie. And the rumor was that he was some kind of a monster on set, and that's why none of the other actors follow him on social media. But now that we have watched the way this movie has been promoted, we have looked and realized that he's the one who is actually promoting the movie the way it is supposed to be promoted. He has been bringing awareness to people who might be in DV situations, giving them advice on how to get out of it, giving the public advice on how to look at these stories instead of looking at the woman and why she didn't leave. We need to put more emphasis on the man and his actions. So as time goes on, we have started to see a turn. People are starting to realize maybe Blake was the problem all along. Maybe he was, just doing his job, and she probably turned everybody against him. Because based on what we are seeing, his behavior, the way he has been promoting this movie with respect and compassion, as opposed to Blake's frivolous, kind of who cares attitude, it has become clear to everybody that maybe they had it all wrong. Now here we're going to look at one of those interviews where the interviewer was trying to bring the subject of DV into the forefront and trying to see how something like this, a movie like this, could help somebody who's in that situation, and how that person might approach any of the actors when wanting to share their experience. And this was Blake's very flippant attitude.
Someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, and they want to really talk to you. What's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this? How would you recommend they go about it?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you, and then we could
So she's basically letting it known, if you resonate with the themes of this movie and the more difficult parts, do not come and bother me, okay? I am not the one. That's basically what she's letting him know in a very joking way. And then, like I showed at the beginning of this video, there was a horrible article that she wrote in her online magazine that she had in 2014. It was a lifestyle magazine. She wrote about romanticizing the antebellum South, the South before the Civil War, while slavery was still taking place. And she made this article glorifying the women of that era and their fashions. It was just so tone deaf and ridiculous and over the top that it actually ended up eventually costing her that lifestyle magazine. It had to shut down because people were so outraged. It was just another example of who Blake Lively really is and always has been. It all makes sense now. The self-absorption, listen, I don't know about the problems happening around me. I'm good. I'm happy. Don't ask me about those things. I just want to talk about the happy florals. It's really unfortunate. But this is not a good look. This is really not a good look. And people are now questioning Taylor Swift, who's her bestie. They're like, girl, did you know about this? Did you know she was like this? Not a good look. But it just goes to show it's very important to be aware. I don't think the lesson here is to be compassionate, because you're either compassionate or not. And it seems to me that Blake is one of those people that has a blind spot for other people's feelings or suffering, as long as she's walking in the sunshine. And so for me to give advice and say, hey, if you're like Blake, be nicer, I think that's more of a nature thing. Jennifer Aniston, when she divorced Brad Pitt, she famously said he has a sensitivity chip missing. And I think that's the case with Blake. So what I would say to Blake is, if you don't feel it, fake it. Be very self-aware of how you're coming across. Why would you take on a story where DV features in a central part of the story if you're not going to delve into the aspects of suffering that affects women and men who find themselves in these situations? If you're going to take this story on, You can't take something like this and turn it into a romantic comedy and make people think that it's a light and fluffy story when you know that that's not the case. When you know that the people who read the book know that that's not the case. So my advice to Blake and to anybody watching this, whatever you're going to take on, understand what is the spirit of the thing that you're taking on, and kind of find yourself in that lane. Like I said, if you don't feel it, fake it. But become aware of what you are doing if you are deciding to walk in a certain path. Become aware of what is acceptable, what can come across as insensitive, especially in this day and age where people are so offendable. She should have been more careful. Her PR people should have been more careful. And I don't know if she was thinking, if we tell people that it's a DV movie, they may not want to see it. So let's promote it as a lighthearted thing so that they won't shy away from the movie. Once again, then make another movie. Tell another story. I think that the director, he's doing a really great job marketing the movie. He has come out as the hero. Even though at the beginning the stories was that he was the monster, he didn't get along with anybody on set, and that's why nobody follows him on social media. Now we're coming across all these stories that are coming out on Blake, and Blake herself is showing us who she is by her flippant attitude promoting this very important story. So it is very clear that he prepared himself. He got the right team around him to say, this is how you promote this kind of a story. This is how you speak on these subjects. And he has done a really great job at promoting the movie. Now, let's say he is a monster and he made life hell for everybody on set. We're not seeing that. We're seeing a very different side of him, and it is working. So if you are a business person, if you are somebody who's a lecturer, if you're going to be standing in front of people, if you're promoting your own brand, you need to know what is the language that is expected of you as you speak on these things. It is very important. And you can be very good at what you do. Blake Lively is a very good actress, but she fumbled the bag terribly in the way she has been conducting herself. So learn from her. Learn from her mistakes. And the internet is forever. You make a mistake 10 years ago, it will come back to haunt you. Ask J-Lo. Anyway, I just wanted to come through with this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel. I do commentary on all kinds of subjects. Please share this with others. Please leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Wow.